Now, to discuss about ionic bonding, it is stated earlier that ionic bonding is a complete transfer of electrons from a metal to a non-metal, right? So, for example, we have a sodium, which is a metal, and chlorine, which is a non-metal. Now, they form a bond to form NaCl or sodium chloride, which is our table salt, right? Now, when forming the bond, NaCl or the sodium chloride is more stable than the elements because the sodium lost an electron to become a sodium ion and the chlorine gained the electron to become the chlorine or the chloride ion. So the sodium, the electron that was lost from the sodium is accepted or donated to chlorine. In doing so, both the sodium and the chlorine achieve what we call a noble gas electronic configuration. For sodium, it is the neon, and for chloride, it is the argon. Both sodium positive and Cl negative, have an octet of electrons surrounding the central ion. Okay? Remember that elements or atoms wants to obey the octet rule, right? They want to have 8 valence electron around them. For example, we have a magnesium. It is the electronic configuration, the neon and then 3s2. Now, the number valence is 2 electrons. To achieve a noble gas configuration, it needs to lose 2 electrons, right? Now, losing 1 would mean it would be less stable, but losing 2 or losing both electrons would make the magnesium more stable. The magnesium atom becomes a magnesium 2 positive ions. Now, the chlorine, which has a 7, right, 2 plus 5, 7 valence electrons, when it receives 1 electron coming from the magnesium, its electronic configuration would become 8, right, 2 plus 6, or equivalent to the electronic configuration of argon, which is its noble gas configuration, making the chloride more stable than the chlorine atom. Which means that for magnesium, we need 2 chloride or 2 chlorine to receive extra electrons able to make a compound. Now, ionic bonding also occurs or happens with transition metal ions and polyatomic ions. Now, transition metals are those from scandium to zinc, or the middle part of your periodic table, wherein there's presence of the d orbital, and this d orbital could have a lower energy configuration instead of the 4s. That is why electrons are removed first from the 4s instead of the 3d. Okay? And another thing is for polyatomic ions, wherein it contains covalent bonds. For example, sulfates, the sulfur and oxygen are both non-metals, and the compound on a whole produce this two negative charge, which could act as ionic bond or electrons that can be donated to form ionic bonds. Now, remember, covalent bonding is not a transfer, but rather a sharing of electrons between two nonmetals. Okay? When two similar atoms bond, none of them wants to lose or gain an electron. Right? Walang gusto magbigay. Okay? When similar atoms bond, they share pairs of electrons to each obtain an octet. So, if they can donate, They find a way to somehow follow the octet without donating, without one losing the electron. Each pair of shared electrons constitute one chemical bond. That's why a bond always contains two electrons or one pair. For example, when two hydrogen bonds, it produce an H2, which the electrons on a line connecting the two hydrogen nuclei. So to see it further, here is the Lewis structure of covalent bonds. Remember that chlorine has 7 valence electrons. If it donates that one unpaired electron to this one would be stable following the octet, but this chlorine would only have 6, right? So electrons cannot be donated in that case. Now, in able to satisfy the octet for both of them, they decided to just share the electrons. So each chlorine atom, this one, would have 8 valence, so 2, 4, 6, and 8. And then the other chlorine atom would also have a 2, 4, 6, and 8. So that's the difference between covalent and the ionic. From the ionic, it is a complete transfer. With the covalent, it is only sharing of electrons. Now, since electrons can be shared in covalent bonding, presence of multiple bonds is possible. Okay, so it is possible for more than one pair of electrons to be shared between the two atoms, causing multiple bonds. So for example, if we have one shared pair, we have a single bond. For two shared pairs, we have a double, and three shared pairs forming a triple bond. Generally, bond distance decreases as we move from single to triple bond. So to visualize this, let's say that a single bond is longer than a double bond than a triple bond. Right? Hanggang 3 lang tayo, triple bond. Now, since the bond distance is shorter, triple bond now is more stronger than the double bonds, and the double bonds are stronger than single bonds. Okay?